Guys and land clearing growth. I just wanted to do a quick video on something I've kind of been seeing with the seven-figure land clearing companies and kind of the three levers that are really the biggest constraint to keep you from making it to that next level. And the coolest aspect being, from what I see a lot of times, there's a lot of revenue left on the table at a business this size because they haven't solved one of these three things yet. So I'm going to be going through this Google Doc that I wrote up over the last few days, and I'm going to stay live, but obviously there'll be a replay of this. Um, and if you have any questions, I'll pop back and forth between this doc and here to see if there's any questions in the chat anywhere. But if you end up watching live, please feel free to leave a comment or ask any questions. So let me just double, triple check that we have it here. Yep, the audio is good. Okay, let me jump into this document. So if you're a land clearing or forestry mulching company and you're doing at least $1 million a year, but you know you could make more with the machines that you already have, you're not alone. It's actually really common for me to see land clearing companies doing like 60 to 100K. I'm sorry, land clearing companies that could add 60 to 100K a month in revenue with the exact same machines and crews that they have right now, just by fixing one to three things in your business that could be done pretty quickly in most cases. So we've talked to and worked with thousands of land clearing companies at this point. And once we look at the back end of your business, it's usually pretty obvious which one is the biggest constraint. You pull one of these three levers and you basically got another $1 million a year sitting there. And I have gotten this directly quoted to me from land clearing business owners. So this is from the data, this is from what I've seen, but it's also from what guys have directly told me, not necessarily just my opinion. Um, so you can do the work, you've got the machines, you've got the guys, you know how to clear land the right way. You just need those levers pulled. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the three main levers we see over and over, which are leads, sales, and talent. That's the broad overview of the three levers. Now, they can look or have a little bit of variable between those things. By leads, I mean opportunity. So this won't always be phone calls or lead forms or developer contractor relationships. It could be one or the other. In sales, it could be your ability to close, it could be your process for working the leads, it could be your follow-up, or it could be pricing or how you're presenting your offer or package. But overall, sales. And then talent. Are you capping the business because you're involved in too many things and you need to hire to be able to get to that next level, even though your machines have the capability of doing more work? You might be capping it. Your employees' knowledge and efficiency might be capping it. The accountability, tracking, and process you have on the back end might be capping your ability to hit this, or just the fact that you need to hire people. So that's the talent section. So then we'll look at how to figure out which lever is actually holding you back. So, quick point before we go into the levers: most owners at your size think the answer is more machines, more crews, more jobs, more hustle. But if you're honest with yourself, there are already weeks where a machine sits, a crew goes home early, you push work to next week because scheduling's a mess, or you feel busy, but the bank account doesn't match the stress. That's not a more iron or more machines problem. That's a leverage problem. So instead of more everything, we're going to talk about which single lever will move you the most. First one's leads. Straight up, you got to have opportunities, right? Your calendar has this lever is for you if your calendar has real gaps. You're not consistently booked 2 to 4 weeks out. Your best guys are standing around doing junk work that you don't even want, or if you had more good landowners or contractors calling you, you could keep everyone slammed. That is a very common problem. When you're truly lead starved, you have to fix how you show up where serious people are looking. So ads, organic rankings, local search, Facebook, whatever, how compelling your offer is. So, do you just let people know you have services and they can get an estimate? Or do you actually package yourself as value for them to have their vision met, to have their property set up the way they want it, or to offer a premium service? 72-hour land ready package is an example. And then strategic partnerships, contractors, builders, developers, brokers, etc. The mistake is a lot of guys say they need more leads when their sales or talent are the actual bottlenecks. So you have to really figure out which one it is. So ask yourself honestly, if I dropped 50 more good leads on my business next month, could we handle them without breaking? That's a question I ask a lot of people. If we just doubled your leads next month, would you make double the money? If it's no, there may be something else, right? If it's yes, there you go, pull that lever. If the answer is yes, your main lever is probably leads. If it's no, we drop balls, not call them back. We don't have the guys to run it. Your lever is further down the chain. So this is where most $1 million and plus land clearing companies get stuck. The sales lever. Very, very common holdback. A lot of guys believe, and it is true, that they're good at sales at a certain level. Wherever they started their business, where it was mostly referrals, word of mouth, handshake, deals, people know you or know of you or know someone who knows you. And most of your sales come from the phone ringing and you showing up to their property. And you get your business started that way, you close a very high percentage, and then you think, oh, I'm really good at sales. But then when it comes to being a little bit higher scale, where you have leads coming in, you have people at different levels of awareness in the marketing campaigns, or in terms of where they're at in being ready to hire you, right? Because just because somebody's not ready to hire you next week doesn't mean they're not going to be a six-figure job in 3 months. So you have to have some kind of system in place to filter, manage, and track all of these people. And that's where a lot of guys aren't as good. Or, they answer the phone well, they get to the property, and it's a person who has some objections or has some hard time making decisions, or they don't necessarily have all the information they need to make the decision, and you haven't given it to them. So they give you some kind of objection, and you think, okay, they're not serious. Those are all things that wrap into having better sales to be able to perform better for the clients. Okay, so signs this is for you. You get leads, phone calls, forums, Facebook messages, but a big chunk of them go nowhere. You or your estimator are slow to respond, calling back hours or days later. You do an estimate, send a number, then crickets. You're not tracking how many leads you get, how many did you actually talk to, how many estimates did you do, and how many turned into jobs. If you're not tracking that, it's almost guaranteed sales is a constraint in your business. You feel like you're busy quoting, but not winning as much as you should. Here are the main pieces of the sales lever. Speed to lead and booking. You need to call all leads within 5 minutes whenever humanly possible. Use technology when it's not. Aim to walk the property and give them an estimate within 72 hours. That alone can 2 to 3x the jobs you close from the same leads. Proven factual statistics. If you're calling back at lunch or whenever you get a chance, a lot of those people have already hired and or talked to someone else. 78% of people will go with the first person to give them enough info to make a decision. That should be you. Follow-up is another piece of this. Most guys call once, maybe twice, text once, maybe twice, and then tell themselves they weren't serious. I just talked to a guy today who I had let know that you needed to implement a double dial system where, because a lot of people have do not disturb on their phone, and if you just hit them once, and I know you're not trying to be annoying, but some people just like literally live with their phone and do not disturb. And so if you hit them twice, they'll pick up. Or a lot of people see new calls as spam, but if they call twice, they'll take it serious. Double dial, it works. And it takes an average of 6 to 8 times to get a hold of somebody in today's day and age. Standard cadence, day 1 or day 0, 2 calls, voicemail, and text. 2 calls a day plus 1 text, 1 call a day plus a text every other day. After that, 1 touch a week for a few weeks. Automate this and it won't seem like a whole lot to do. Same with open estimates. If you send a quote and it's quiet, that's not a no, that's work to do. A lot of people don't like this. A lot of people think this is a bad opinion. And if you don't do this, you're literally saying no to money. I'm sorry. And I understand people's point where they come from that if they don't respond after I've sent the estimate, they're not serious. It's just not true. It's not true. I've been on both sides of it. I've seen it from the inside, I've seen it from the outside. It's our responsibility as the business owner to follow up with the person after we've given them the estimate, especially if it's not face to face. Just do, if you're not following up a lot on open estimates, you're literally throwing money away. So if you have that opinion, I understand your argument, but you're literally throwing money away. Offer and pricing. If your offer sounds like we do land clearing, free estimates, fair price, you're forcing people to shop on a day rate and who's the cheapest. You look like everyone else. Or you could set yourself apart with something like a package where you're adding value and showing them what they do and reversing their risk and giving them more bonuses that probably normal people do, but they're not telling them they do it. So you're positioning yourself as a better service. Now they're comparing your package versus the bare minimum guy, and you're going to look a lot better. Better offer, slightly higher price can actually make you more money with fewer jobs. Doesn't that sound nice? What this can do with real numbers. So let's say right now, roughly in a month, you get 100 leads, 30% you actually talk to, 20 you actually give an estimate, and you close 35%, that's 7 jobs. If you're at a 10K job average, that's 70K for easy numbers. If you only fix sales and you raise contact percentage to 60%, estimates to 70, and 5% increase in close rate, same leads, you go from 70K to 170K. That's the difference in sales. And I know that seems like a big jump, but I have literally seen it. 2 companies getting the same amount of leads, spending the same amount of money. One is making $1 million more than the next one. This is the main difference. I cannot say it enough. It is huge. Completely different outcome. $100,000 gap. That's where my title comes from. At 100K a month. There it is, right there. That's the math. Sales lever. Okay, the third is talent. Your people and how you manage them. If you're here, you've got steady leads, decent close rate, but everything's on your back. You try to put a sales guy or an estimator in, and performance is all over the place. Crews don't hit production. Machines break down, things break, jobs drag, mistakes cost you margin, and you don't have clear numbers and accountability, just gut feeling. In simple terms, talent is hiring the right roles at the right time, giving them clear key performance, what good looks like, holding them to those numbers weekly. What you measure gets managed. Example, sales estimator must contact X percentage of leads, book X estimates a week, close at this percent, produce X amount of revenue or gross profit. Crew lead, so hit X amount of acres per day, depending on the job type, job completion percentage on time, safety and damage metrics. Without talent, you end up answering every call yourself, doing every estimate, babysitting crews, and getting home cooked mentally every night. And that's why a lot of owners don't push for more revenue. They know their current team couldn't handle it without chaos. So if your marketing and sales are good, but you keep topping out at the same revenue, it's because you are the ceiling. Your main lever is probably talent. Quick self-diagnosis. So if you're rarely booked more than 1 to 2 weeks out, you genuinely have machines and crews sitting idle, your main lever is probably leads and opportunities. If the phone rings, forms come in, and messages show up, but lots of people never get called back, never get scheduled, or never say yes, sales is your main lever. Speed, follow-up, offer, and pricing. If you're getting leads and closing jobs, but you're exhausted because you're doing all the thinking, estimating, and managing, then talent is your lever. In reality, all three matter, but usually one is the choke point that if you fix it, you can unlock an extra 60 to 100K a month with what you already have. And guys, I've been fortunate to see all three of these levers get pulled at this level and the opportunity that it is for the business. It's pretty awesome and you deserve it if you're in business, but you have to do the work to figure out what it is and fix it. So if you're doing around 1 million a year in land clearing and you feel like you've got more in the tank, you don't necessarily need more machines. You don't necessarily need more hours. You probably need to pull one of these three levers hard: leads, sales, or talent. If you want help figuring out which one is actually holding you back, that's what I do all day, every day. We've seen inside the back end of thousands of land clearing companies, and usually within a short call, we can say, hey, we should probably fix this first. Here's what that looks like. If you want that kind of clarity for your business, then hit the link in the description. Check out our growth program. Book a call if it makes sense for you. Even if we never work together long term, I'll do my best to point you at the right lever so your machine stops sitting and your numbers match what you know you are capable of. Thanks for watching. I will talk to you soon.